Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of They Say. My name is Allison McFarland, founder and CEO of Allison McFarland Inc., your branding, communications, just everything that makes you amplify your voice expert. I am so honored to really just sit and have this conversation with someone that I have admired from afar, but we've had conversations before. Miss Donna, she is so remarkable and phenomenal. She embodies such a just a genuine energy and such a just a genuine and pure authentic leadership that I feel like she can teach us women and men how to take over the world and do it with such grace and class. So I am honored that she said yes to me. I am excited to have this conversation with her because leadership matters. Pouring into that next generation matters, and having women like her opening the door for women like me. I'm just honored that she said yes to me and is willing to just share some of her magnetic nuggets. So, Ms. Donna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Allison. I am so proud of you. I remember a conversation that we had as it relates to when you first thought about starting your show. And I was like, that is so cool. And, just to see how you've made it grow over the last couple of months and the guests, and you're just taking charge of and the momentum of it all. And you're going with it and you're growing, and I see you evolving. So congratulations. I'm so very proud of you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. So to have someone with so much corporate knowledge, life knowledge, so much wisdom, I'm honored because I feel like I tell people this often. We're in such a space in the United States, and I would just say worldwide, where major transitions are about to come down the pipeline. And to have people that have weathered the storms of life and seen what happens when transition occurs or when the changing of the guards, such as yourself, can really help us center ourselves and be comfortable with what's to come. So, Ms. Donna, tell us about all the great things that make you who you are, because you have such a dynamic journey.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All of the things that make me who I am. Well, I feel really that I was power packed delivered to this earth, filled with gifts, talents, and abilities. And I think that we all are, right? That's the reality of it. And it's really important that we are put into nurturing environments that allow us to fulfill our purpose and our mission and all of that. And so for me, it's so interesting that I started my career on Wall Street, on the derivative trading desk in New York City. The glam and the glitz of it all. I put on my suits every single day. And I went into Manhattan with these tall, gleaming buildings. And I felt like there was nothing that I couldn't do. What I soon discovered was that I was the only woman, and oftentimes the only woman of color, in a lot of executive spaces. But I was just so enthusiastic. I never really even recognized that that was the case. And so I didn't have any limits on what I thought I could do. And so I did it all.
Yes.
And I think having that clear mindset of not having any inhibitions about myself and my talent allowed me to go a lot further. And I have to attribute so much of it to my mother, because she always spoke life into me.
Yes.
She said, Donna, you're going to write a book one day. I wrote a book. Donna, you're going to be great. You're going to open up doors for others. Your heart is so big. And I started to walk out the things that she had spoken into my life from when I was little. So when I was in those executive spaces, I made sure that I was an advocate for others, making sure that I opened up doors and I supported and I stood my ground in power when there were things that were going on, injustices that were kind of happening during my corporate climb. I stood my ground and I made space for others. I was committed to that. And I think that all came to be because of my mother. So there's a lot that I could share. So I'll let you guide the conversation, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. That's powerful. Just right there, that's powerful. And God bless your mom. I think that's something so powerful when a mother can speak life into to a daughter, to define her, to let her know who she is. So you don't wander through life looking for identity, but your identity has already been solidified at home. So I honor her for that, because that is something I feel that is often missing in today's world. A lot of us are kind of just wandering through life trying to figure out who we are. versus our parents identifying those gifts, those talents, who God called us to be at an early age and really predestined us to be, so that we can walk into the integrity and the truth of our calling. So that is powerful. And I am so excited. So talk to us about Wall Street and just your corporate climb, because that's something that a lot of the millennials, the Gen Xers, all of us are interested in doing, but we want to do it strategically and with integrity, because I feel oftentimes when people climb the corporate ladder, they're ready to cut people off, kick people out. And I don't feel like that's a good example of integrity. So talk to us about that.
Not at all. So principled leadership is my thing. Heartfelt, principled leadership. And my first mentor in this space was Dr. A.R. Bernard from Christian Cultural Center, Brooklyn, New York. Shout out. Who really taught me about principled leadership and using biblical principles to guide my journey. And my husband, when I first met him, we were dating, and he had gotten me a Bible for leaders. And I was like, wow. So I started to read it, and I'm navigating this corporate ladder, right? I'm getting my Six Sigma certification. I'm in accelerated training programs. Yes. But whenever I would find a path that I wasn't sure of, I could always go back to the biblical principles within the good book.
Yes.
And find relevant principled leadership strategies to help to guide me. And so fast forward to today, and I'll talk about the corporate journey in just a moment. It is so powerful that I've also aligned with another biblical, principally based leader in Myron Golden. And he takes the biblical principles and he brings them to life for entrepreneurs. And it has actually helped me to start to go down my millionaire journey. And it's been amazing. And so I'll speak to mentorship as being so important in your life. If you do not have mentors, I implore you, find someone who will be willing to speak into your life. Look for someone who actually imbibes the lifestyle and the beliefs and the values that you have, and ask them to mentor you. That's so powerful. And then we look at advocates. I've always had advocates in my corner as well. Even when I was the only woman navigating these spaces, oftentimes the only woman of color, as I mentioned, on Wall Street, I've always had an angel in my pocket and someone who would just pull me to the side and say, hey, Donna, this is how you navigate this. Yeah. And you're going into this big meeting in the boardroom. I want you to know that the decision has already been made. Here's how the playbook looks. Yeah. Here are the rules of engagement. Yes. So I was so shocked when this person told me that the decision had already been made prior to a meeting. And I was like, what do you mean? We're supposed to discuss it today. But no, I had to learn the principle that you gain sponsorship along the way with a big idea. And if you're unclear on how the organization is feeling before you put your proposal forth, start to talk to people. Hey, Jim, do you have a moment? We've got this big initiative on the table. What are your thoughts? Hey, Sally. Hey, Allison. Can I have a few minutes of your time? This big initiative, what do you think about it? Then you get to know how people are feeling, and you start to get the swell of support that you need by putting your points forward. And then you're better prepared to go into those types of meetings. And so there are so many lessons that I learned in navigating those corporate spaces that have helped me to be excellent and successful in the life that I currently lead.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about, you said something that I want us to pull on. Talk about owning your power, especially navigating these corporate spaces. A lot of times we feel as women that we've got to kind of downplay who we are, what we bring to the table, how our beauty, our brains, our intellect. So how did you navigate that space of not having to downplay who you are?
Oh, honey, I did. I'm guilty. Yeah. I started to see how my power and my strength and my confidence started to intimidate other leaders in my organization. And I noticed that there almost became a groundswell, to almost quiet my voice. And I saw that I would get along. I would go along to get along a little better if I would just pull back just a little bit and let others have the floor. And if you continue to pull back, you find yourself in the shadows. Yeah. And then you can almost not even recognize who you are after a while, making space for others. And then I observed that no one else was making space for anybody else. So why was I playing myself small?
Yes.
Another mentor of mine told me that, Donna, you playing small does not serve the world.
Mm-mm.
And so I was like, hold up, wait a minute. What about what I'm sent here to do?
Yeah.
Where's my mission, my values, etc.? And I'm to play out loud. This is life is the world. Life is my playground. And I'm here to play full out and to make a difference. And so once I recognized that, I started to play forward. And those who agreed, and those who didn't. But I was going to show up in my power, in my authentic self, and in my beauty.
I love it. And that's powerful. And I thank you because you really do. And so I believe it gives us a courage to walk in ours, especially when we see women before us that are leading the way,
Yeah.
owning their space. So it makes it safer for us that are coming behind you to feel confident enough to own our space and not dummy down or play down or pretend just to make others appease others.
I love that, Allison. And here's the proof. There's always proof in the pudding.
Okay.
Once I started to play full out, I started to notice that my calendar started to fill up with women across the organization. So I was based in, at the time, I think, um, Miami. And people from across the organization were trying to get on my calendar to find out how I did it. How did I get in the executive spaces? What did I do? And so I was like, wow, that is so important because someone's always watching us. I will say that. And so how you're playing your game or how you're playing full out can affect how others feel comfortable or safe or bold, or they're using you as an example for them to also do the same. And so I think it's really important that we shine our light so that others can find their path as well.
I love this. And I think there's probably other women, but I want to stop and commend you on the fact that you're like a lean Sigma black belt. Like, I think that's so dope. When I was doing my MBA, I had to get some with a good friend of mine that is a lean Sigma. So I learned a little bit about it and I was like, oh my God, this is no joke.
It's no joke. It's no joke. It is definitely a 2-year intensive program. And out of 200 candidates, they took 20 on board. I graduated number 2 in my class with the highest scores. And I hated statistics, but
Yeah.
I do whatever's meant. I had to get a book called Statistics for Dummies.
Yep.
I read that book. I read all the statistician books I could, and I graduated second in my class. So you can do anything.
That's powerful. And that's powerful. And that speaks to just owning your power. The fact that you said that you can do anything and you're an example of that. So talk to us about really continuing. So now you're in this entrepreneur space. You're doing so many amazing, cool things with your sabbatical, your luxury retreats for executive women. Talk to us about this transition that you're making, even to be more fabulous than you already are.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So I graduated from corporate America, and I said to myself, it's my time.
Yes.
It's my time to bring my gifts fully to the world. And so with that, I started my company, Notable, and it means remarkable. And it's so interesting to me that I don't tell a lot of people what it means. But they always say remarkable in my introductions. And I'm like, wow. So that speaks so gently to my soul. So thank you for using that word as well. But I believe that we are remarkable. We are remarkable. Say our names.
Yes.
We'll leave a mark, right? It's worthy of note. And so on that journey, I want to empower other women to know that they are worthy of note, that their journey matters, that their contributions matter. And I'm here to give them some of my strength to help them to navigate these spaces. In the sabbatical space, I had to go through a journey of somatic healing, which meant that after navigating the corporate ladder for over 15 years, I had trauma stored in my body, which curved my spine to 40 degrees.
Wow.
Wow. I couldn't stand up straight for about 3 months. I had to go through intensive physical therapy to get my spine to straighten up. And it was all because I had stored all of those years of the corporate climb and stress in my body. And I had to learn how to release that. And so I know that women are going through traumatic episodes every single day. If you have to go into your office, I'm going to speak to the ladies who are watching this and even the men. If you have to get up in the morning and get on conference calls or go into the office and your stomach is in knots, or you just have these panic attacks, or you don't feel good about what you're contributing, all of that can get stored into your body as stress. And we call it disease, but it is dis-ease. And
Mhm.
so I really want to help women to be able to identify that and to learn a new way of functioning and releasing that stress. And so with that, we have sabbatical programming that teach women new ways of actually living their lives and living their lives with ease and flow.
Mhm.
Associated with that are our 5 to 7 star resort retreats, where we take our executive women away and we teach them how to intrinsically start to function at higher levels with the flow of ease and without stress. And so I bring in experts in the fields of psychology, um, body wellness, health, diet, and all of that. And we come together and we learn new techniques on how to live our lives more fully and more abundantly and with peace and joy.
I love that. And I think that's very intentional of you. And so as you bring these women together to live their lives, what type of results are you seeing? Are they leaving? I'm sure they're leaving a lot happier and fulfilled, but what are you seeing once they get out there and start putting into place what you're teaching them?
Absolutely. I'm seeing much happier, much happier ladies and women. And I'm seeing what I'd like to call an echo.
Mm.
Think about it. If you learned something new or you just ate something that was really delicious, what do we do? The first thing we do is get on social media or we share it with somebody else. Oh, you've got to go to this restaurant. It was absolutely delicious. Well, the same thing kind of happens in that space. When you discover something that is life-changing and good for you, you go and tell someone else. And so a lot of our business comes by repeat business because someone else has shared how fabulous the results are as after taking a sabbatical retreat with us. And so the echo continues to resound, and we're helping more and more women every day. It's phenomenal.
I love it. And I think that's powerful. So as you continue to build that out, what else are you working on, Donna? Because I know you're just killing it.
I'm having a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. We are bringing to the market one-to-one laser coaching sessions for women who actually are navigating corporate spaces and they might have a problem that they need business acumen from outside of their organization. We serve as a sounding board in that space. We also have programming for masterminds, coaching, and then I'm going to bring to the marketplace, I'm really excited about this, a general course on confidence.
Mm.
Cracking the confidence code because so many women deal with imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And we need to crack the confidence code. What is it about confidence that makes it so elusive? When in fact, we all have it. We just have to tap into it. And so I go through the DMAIC process of defining, measuring, analyzing, improving, and controlling. Those 5 steps of the methodology that I use in Six Sigma, I use it to crack the confidence code. And we're really looking forward to that. So we've opened up the wait list for that. So if the ladies are interested in joining us on that journey, please feel free to contact me.
Oh, awesome. Well, tell us, as we come to a close, tell us how we get a hold of you and where do we find you?
Yes. So, on Instagram, it is Donna, the Donna Michelle. On LinkedIn, it's Donna Hicks-Mitchell, and that's also my website, Donna Hicks-Mitchell. And yeah, I'm there on all platforms. And yeah, reach out. I'd love to talk to you.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I just thank you for this time. I thank you for giving us a power pack session where we could get just tools to really be able to leverage our corporate climbs and just our mental and emotional and health. So you have just really get a full circle with us. So we appreciate this. I thank you for saying yes. I thank you for being a sounding board for me when I was navigating, figuring out they say, and I thank you for getting on here with me. Like that honors me because I value people's time. So I'm just grateful that you said yes.
It's indeed my pleasure. Keep going. I am so proud of you. I'm supporting and watching, and it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And that concludes this episode of They Say. Stay tuned. We got more dynamic guests coming. You guys take care.
Bye.